Hello friends! In today's video, I decided to seek out the internet's most commonly asked interior design questions and attempt to answer them. Well, some of them anyway. I found a list of like 40 questions. I am not going to attempt to answer them all. And a lot of these are topics I've already done entire videos about. So instead, I'm going to focus on the questions that I haven't really covered yet on the channel. So let's not waste any time and get right into it. Here we go. All right, first question. How do I choose the right furniture for my living room? When it comes to furnishing your home, I find that living rooms can be especially difficult. They often have to serve multiple functions. There can be challenges as far as layout, and then there's also the fact that you're having to buy some pretty major investment pieces, big ticket items like your sofa. You want to begin by assessing how you need your living room to function and then creating a floor plan so you can determine what furniture you're going to need, where it's going to go, and what sizes are going to fit. Once you have all of that figured out, then you can start looking for ideas and inspiration of how you want the room to look and what kind of styles you want to incorporate. Then start sourcing. You can look online, visit local stores in your area, get a sense of what's out there, what you like, and what's going to work for your budget. Try to select as much as you can. Make sure that it's all going to work together before you actually start finalizing any purchases. And if you know what you want, but you just haven't found it yet, remember that it is totally fine to take your time and hold out for the right piece. Second question, how do I design an open concept living space? I am not surprised that this is one of the most frequently asked questions because whether we like them or not, open concept spaces have become really common. My first tip is to maintain continuity in your finishes. So stick to one flooring type and one wall color throughout the entire space. Now, if you do want to add additional colors, you certainly can, but rather than just your basic accent wall, as you've probably heard me mention before, I'm actually more of a fan of color blocking. I just think this is a more interesting and unexpected and intentional way of adding additional colors to your space. And remember to keep sight lines in mind. What is going to be visible from where? Not everything in an open concept space has to match, but they do need to relate to each other in some way. When it comes to things like lighting, avoid picking everything all from the same collection. This can just feel really predictable and kind of lacking in character. It's fine if you want them all to be the same finish, they can still be somewhat coordinated, but try mixing styles for added interest. When you're trying to define different areas within an open concept space, this can often be accomplished with furniture and area rugs. Use pieces like console tables and open shelving to provide separation, and area rugs can help to anchor furniture and define specific areas within the overall space. And again, not all of your furniture and decor has to all match perfectly. You just want everything to follow the same general design concept so that it prevents the space from feeling at all disjointed. Next question, how can I make my home feel more cozy and inviting? Texture, color, and lighting, all really important considerations in making your home more cozy and inviting. Mixing textures in your space helps to add warmth and depth. Try incorporating wood grains, plush fabrics, textural rugs, and soft window coverings. As for how you use color in your home, whether you stick with a really neutral palette or do something bolder and more colorful, just keep in mind that warmer colors tend to feel cozier than cooler colors. As for lighting, keep it varied and layered. Don't rely solely on overhead lighting. Incorporate multiple light sources, especially lamps. Use dimmers when you can and stick with warm white for all of your bulbs. Harsh, cold lighting is neither cozy nor inviting. How do I select the right window treatments for each room? Window coverings. I have had some requests to make a video on this topic, and maybe at some point I will dedicate an entire video to this, but for now, I'm going to try to give you just a more basic overview. First of all, you've got to consider function. Do you need privacy, light filtering? How do you need them to operate? If this is a window that isn't easily accessible, maybe you want to be able to control the window coverings by a remote control or even your phone. And then of course you want to consider aesthetics. If your style is more on the clean, minimal side, you might want more simple window coverings, something like a roller blind or a basic Roman shade. If your style is a bit bolder, maybe you want to make more of a statement with your window coverings. Maybe this means bringing in some texture with something that's bamboo, or even a Roman shade that has more color or pattern. And regardless of your design style, sheers and drapery panels are great options for larger windows or patio doors. These can still be quite sleek and minimal, or they can be more colorful and dramatic. Now, there may be times that you want to combine drapery panels with blinds, or you might just want to use them on their own, like on a large picture window or a patio door. Question number 5. What are the best ways to design a kid-friendly space? We haven't really touched on kid-friendly spaces in other videos, so let's talk about it now. One consideration is definitely durability when it comes to your finishes. So good quality paint that is scuff resistant and scrubbable. When it comes to fabrics, you want to look for upholstery that's going to be durable and stain resistant and easy to spot clean. When it comes to toys, you're going to want to look for ways that you can quickly and easily stash those things away. So maybe it's storage ottomans or benches, or maybe some cute baskets with lids. And I am a big believer in the importance of color when it comes to kid-friendly spaces. Color not only plays a role in your child's vision development, but it can also impact their language skills and their emotional intelligence. So if you are a fan of an all-neutral interior, you may want to consider introducing at least a few small pops of color just to make your home a little friendlier for your little ones. How can I make my entryway more functional and welcoming? As far as function is concerned, I think we can all agree that in an entryway, the biggest challenge always comes down to storage. If you have a closet in your entry, then it is often about optimizing that space with a really efficient organization system, or it may even mean turning that space into more of a locker situation, which I know is a solution that can work really well for a lot of families. If you don't have a closet, you're going to want to look for other ways that you can introduce functional storage space into your entryway. So if you have enough room, that could be a beautiful wardrobe or armoire, or if you are kind of limited on space, maybe it's a shallow shoe cabinet and some wall hooks. As far as making your entryway more welcoming, I mean, cutting the clutter is definitely going to help, but you might also want to look at bringing in a great rug or maybe even some colorful art. Painting your front door can be another great way to liven up an entry. Even if you can't change the exterior of the door, painting the inside can be a really fun option. Next question is, how can I design a relaxing outdoor space? So I did already make a video about outdoor spaces, so if you would like some additional information, you might want to check that one out. I'll link it in the description. But it is summer, so feels like a very appropriate time to be answering this question. I think the key to a relaxing outdoor space is a combination of great furniture, protection from the elements, and the incorporation of some sort of greenery. Choose outdoor furniture that is functional, durable, comfortable, and also stylish. Also look to pieces that can shield you from the sun, the wind, or even a little bit of rain, whether it be an umbrella, a sunshade, or a canopy. And try to bring in a little bit of nature. Even if your outdoor space is a balcony in the middle of the city, a plant or two can make a big difference. Question number 8. How do I choose the right rug for my space? Okay, choosing a rug. The most important thing is getting the size right. When in doubt, err on the side of going larger. As long as you've left a foot or two of breathing room around the edges, you should be good. You do not want a rug that is too small. It can really throw off the sense of scale and balance in a room. Remember in a living room that the front legs of your sofa and chairs should be able to sit comfortably on the rug. In a bedroom, you can either do a larger rug that comes all the way up to the wall behind the bed so that the bed and the nightstands are fully sitting on the rug, or if you have a smaller rug, you want that rug to completely clear the nightstands. And really, I'm okay with either of these options. Now in a dining room, just make sure that that rug is large enough that you can comfortably pull those chairs out without them catching on the edge of the rug. When it comes to the style of your rug, this really mostly is about personal preference. You might prefer a more basic, simple rug, or you might like something that's more bold, that has a little color and pattern to it. If you already have a lot of pattern going on in your space, or you have some really great furniture that you would rather be the focal point, then you can certainly keep your rug more simple. But if your room is feeling a bit boring or too safe, a bolder rug can be a great design statement. How do I design a sustainable, eco-friendly home? Well, I think a lot of us appreciate the idea of a sustainable and environmentally friendly interior. I recognize that it's not necessarily the easiest thing to achieve, but I do have a few tips to keep in mind. When it comes to finishes and materials, you want to look for things like low VOC paint and products that are manufactured from natural materials and fibers as opposed to things that are made from petroleum-based materials. And do a little research into the origins of the products that you're looking at, like the wood for that hardwood flooring or that wood furniture. Have those trees been sustainably harvested? It's also a really good idea to avoid fast furniture as much as you can. You want to look for quality pieces that are going to last for years to come, rather than cheap things that are going to break and end up in the landfill in a few years. And of course, purchasing secondhand is one of the most sustainable buying practices. Another great reason to shop vintage for your home. All right, we've made it to the end. Last question. How can I update a room without a full renovation? I feel like there's a lot I could say about this topic, and I think that I have sort of touched on this in certain ways in some other videos, but if anybody would like to see a full video on this subject, leave me a comment, let me know, but let me just sort of touch on it briefly here for now. Paint. Paint is one of the easiest and most affordable ways to completely transform a room. And not only your walls, but also trim and moldings, cabinets, furniture, even floors, tile, and countertops if you go about it the right way. Paint is your friend. Otherwise, you could try changing out some of your lighting, swapping out hardware. If you've got an older floor, you could try to camouflage it with a really great area rug. Maybe you bring in some new furniture pieces or some new decor. And if you are on a really tight budget, even just rearranging your furniture and changing up how you style a room can make a really big difference. Okay, friends, that's everything I have for you today. You may have noticed, some of you, that I did not post a video last week. Just a lot going on right now, having kind of a busy summer, but I'm not going anywhere. I will still try to post as much as I can. It just might be slightly less consistent than usual. So I hope you'll stick with me. I really do appreciate you being here so much. I hope you are all having a great summer as well. We will see you back here for the next one. Bye for now.